Brother. Okay. So let's begin now. Okay. And let's tune in. Inhale. Exhale. And again, inhale. And inhale. Exhale. And let's tune in. Om
Namo Gurudev Namo Om Namo
Gurudev Namo Gurudev
Namo Adgure Name Adgure Name Adgure Name Sri Gurudev Name Adgure Name Adgure Name Sadgure Name Sri Gurudev Name Adgure Name Adgure Name Sadgure Name Sri Gurudev Name.
Breathe. Heart breath. Okay. This is let's see. This is about Sahej. So let me think about that a minute. She's not here. Oh, yes. Go deeply for heart breath, because Sahej, her son, died suddenly. 2.5, I think, 2.5 days that is gone. Okay. So stay with us, stay with Baba Siri Chand, and feel healing for 3 minutes with heart breath. Keep up. and continue. Sahej, continue.
Yes, I'm here.
And please tune in.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Sahej?
Yes.
Okay, we have already told them about your son. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. And did you want to talk?
Tell them my experience that we talked about the other day.
Yeah, just a couple of minutes. Go ahead.
Okay, my kettle is roaring, so I'm going to turn it off. I it was early in the morning and it was still very dark here. And my son and I have always had a strong connection, so it's been easy for me to, not easy, wrong words. Anyways, he had sent me an email that was timed to be delayed by several days. And I saw the notice of it flicker across my screen. And it was, of course, took a moment. And then I thought, of course. And I read it. I don't feel like taking the time to read it here. It was beautiful and strong and clear and loving. And when it was done, his presence filled the whole room. And I sat on my couch and looked out towards the river, but it was dark, inky dark and beautiful. And I physically felt my son next to me. We just sat together, looking out and thinking how beautiful the darkness was, and the window framed in little white lights, and there was a candle burning, and just loving the beauty and the connection was palpable. And then the light started to kind of begin to lick around the edges of the day, and I thought, oh no. And then I heard, and I don't have to explain to you when I say heard, yes, this day is going to dawn. But I had been in a state of such deep, deep, deep peace. And the message said, yeah, this day is going to dawn and other feelings are going to wash over you. And you're going to have to get up and do the hard things. But remember this. This is reality. This is real. And I of course, all the other things have come and will come. But little things. I was explaining to my friends yesterday how I'd had this wild chance encounter at Ram Dass Puri at summer solstice, where this young woman was trying to find out where she could get, I think they were handing out little paper copies of Japji. But when I was explaining it, I said nitnem. And then I told about how the person that this woman was asking was not being super helpful. And I thought, oh, I can be helpful there. So I walked up to her and I said, I said it was probably at the Gurdwara if they were handing those out. So, and I was showing her where that was, and we got to talking, and I told her where I lived, and she said, oh, that's funny. I'm going there for a wedding. Alaska's, we're not very populous. And I asked her which city, and she didn't know. She said, yeah, I'm going there for a wedding. And I said, by any chance? And I told her the names of my daughter and her partner. Are you going to that wedding? And she said, yes. I said, oh, that's my daughter. And while I was thinking of that, and I had said nitnem, even though that wasn't really what I meant, because they were just little paper pamphlets, I looked up and I saw my nitnems in my bookcase, and I said to my friend, oh, that's what a nitnem actually is. And she turned and I said, oh, you don't have to take it off the shelf. And then I changed my mind and I said, yeah, go ahead and take it off the shelf. And she handed it to me and I opened it. And there was a picture of my son inside the front cover with a beloved friend of his. And I knew then that I was supposed to send her that picture, but also just that, like, he was right there. If there's a key, a clue, a word, nitnem, it's calling my attention. Oh, there it is. Oh, let me look. The information is there. It's all around us. And my son is here. There's no question in my mind. So I just wanted to share those things this morning.
Thank you so much. And tell us what his name is.
Laughton Patrick Elliott DeAngelis.
How
Laughton or Lottie.
how much do you spell that?
Laughton is like Laughton, which is perfect if you knew him. It's like Laughton.
Mm, what a wonderful name.
Mhm.
And
His dad, we honeymooned at Lawton Glacier, and he was my honeymoon baby. And my husband suggested that as a name, and I just couldn't quite relate to it. I said, but I have an uncle, great 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 uncle Lachlan. Well, that's close. Why don't we name him that? And he kind of didn't think so. My brother died in an accident on his due date, and my another brother had died 3 years before in the same way, and so we had a passing thought of naming him after those two brothers. And then he was born and he was Lawton. And my husband said, oh, we could name him after your brothers. I said, can't you tell it's Lawton? He was. Uh, yeah, life is funny. That's how it was.
good, good. And we all have seen that photograph for Martin with Baba
Yes.
Siri Chand. How about that?
Yes. I love that. Love that so much.
Thank you, dear.
Where was this picture taken, Sahej?
Kashi Ashram.
Of course, yeah.
Because Lawton was the most super intuitive person in the first year that we went to winter solstice. I think he was down at school in Oregon and I was in Alaska. And I called him up and I said, okay, we're going and we can go camping for a couple of weeks after. But I don't know anything about Florida and you don't know anything about Florida. I said, I can pay for it, but you got to do the arrangements. I said, we can go anywhere in Florida. I mean, anywhere in the state of Florida. So he gets looking and, everything in the world is online. And he just calls me back. He goes, I think we're going to stay at Sebastian Inlet. He said, you can't even register online or anything, but I called him up and we can reserve a spot there. And it turned out to be like this secret surfer campground. It only had like 10 spots and on the other side was a marina. And then we some of our friends at Winter Solstice, I had been to Winter Solstice before, but he had never been. And we met new friends and we told them we were going camping after, and they said, where are you camping? And we said, Sebastian Inlet. And they said, oh gosh, that's only 20 minutes from Kashi Ashram. And a bunch of us all go there for Christmas dinner. And then they told us the whole thing. And then when we went, it was so beautiful. We pulled up to Kashi and parked, and we were kind of wandering, feeling a little self-conscious, like we weren't so sure about this. And there was this woman standing on the steps, and she saw us and she said, oh, you came. Like she was our long lost cousin just out there waiting for us. It was just the most beautiful thing.
Thank you, dear.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we found Baba Siri Chand. That's the end of the story. I was like, why was I telling that story? So there's a little shrines all over if people don't know about it. Ma Jaya was meant to teach all paths, so she has an interfaith ashram, and in one of them is Baba Siri Chand. One of the little shrines.
Okay. So we have already talked to Sahej yesterday for Baba Siri Chand, so that would be okay, right, Sahej?
Yes.
Okay.
My one request is something that you really listen deeply and not let your mind jump in to fill in the blanks.
There you go. That's really important. You got it.
Thank you.
Thank you. So this is, of course, with Baba Siri Chand telling with Sahej and about his son. So, and then not only would us help our Sahej, but also bring our loving community together and also know what each of us may happen similar situations during these dark to light times. Okay, so this, do you get that? Do you understand that, everybody? Okay. So
I just want to say, in case anybody's in doubt about that, I did speak with Siri Gian yesterday, and the reason that I'm here is because she encouraged me that my experience can help others understand about how to deal with death. Is that right, Siri Gian?
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so now we're listening for 3 minutes for this meditation. And please begin.
No, Sir, again, I do need to hear the phrase of the meditation again.
Okay, let me see. Let's see. Not only would us help our Sahej, but also bring our loving community together and also know what each of us may happen, similar situations during these dark to light times. Do you get that? Or is there anything else?
I get it.
Okay, good. God bless you. And begin. Inhale and breathe. So, Aagia Pal,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am. Okay. I'll start us off. Baba Siri Chand was singing to me today.
Mm.
The first song he was singing was the Bob Dylan song, "The Times They Are A-Changin'." And I was listening and chills, went through me. And then he started singing "Lean on Me," lean on me when you're not strong and so forth. More chills. And then he became very stern. And I was directed to be, to be stronger within myself. And he showed me a coniferous tree, a real tall, like spruce, and with branches and roots and everything, and said, be like that. because in order to support, to be with, to to be with this transition that's happening all around us, to help people move peacefully, slip peacefully into the transition of what some may call death and others may call new life. And so there was no doubting Baba Siri Chand saying to, yes, to call upon, to lean on, yes, others, but also to be strong that others can lean on me. And a lot of fear came up, a real ton of fear. And I said to him, this is tremendously overwhelming for me to think that I would be called upon to support, to witness, to be there. And then again, he was very stern, remember, he said, remember, you lean on soul and you lean on me. And he said, you forget so much. You forget that so much. You forget and you think that everything, that you have to do everything, meaning me. So that was also a strong message to lean on soul, to lean on Baba Siri Chand. And, and the chills kept going through. And I thought of all my loved ones who have slipped through into a new reality. And so sort of what's happening for me, and then I'll finish, is an acceptance, a courage and an acceptance that this is the way, these are the times that are changing this, and to accept and to move through and not to resist, and to be with myself, just being. So just he was saying, beingness, just be. And Laughton, the presence as Sahej was speaking was so absolutely beautiful, and I felt a gift to me. And so again, I'm thinking, and it caused me to think of all the loved ones that are here and that have passed, and feeling very close to them, and also feeling that I have a big job to do, and to be strong, and to accompany, be a fellow traveler as folks pass through and over. And I still got the chills going through me. So thank you, Baba Siri Chand. Thank you, Soul. And thanks everybody for listening.
God bless you. Thank you so much. Okay. Sun City.
Satnam, everybody. This is a beautiful experience, and thank you, Sahej, for sharing so deeply and openly. And it's a beautiful picture of your son, and it's really hopeful. What I got was a lot of hope from the grace and serenity and ease and sacredness of your son's passing. This is a beautiful, what a beautiful life, what a beautiful love of his mother and father. And it's really healing, a sense of hope and fulfillment, and to know how much grace and power, soul grace and power. I get the sense that he achieved that has become present in him through his passing, that he's going to help a lot of people. And it's been very heartbreaking for me because it brings me to the unfinished process of losing my sister Jeannie, my closest sister, just recently, pretty recently. And she, it was a very troubled and painful and challenging on many, many levels. She had a very hard time dying, and the way it I don't know how to say this. She's a beautiful, strong person, but had a very difficult life. And there has not been the peace. So I've learned, what I've learned in this experience today is what a beautiful process it can be. And I was talking with my sister Honora this morning about this. So it's interesting synchronicity that we have work, spiritual soul work to do with my sister Jeannie, and she I got the very strong sense my sister's still struggling. There isn't that ease and peace and fulfillment, and still a lot of conflict and confusion and struggle. And so it just, soul just said, you've got some work to do, and Honora, you and Honora can bring peace to this, or open up the peace that Jeannie can have. So I'm going to pass on that.
Wonderful. Thank you, dear.
Before somebody else speaks, I just want to say, I kept hearing you say the word grace and ease, and Sahej means ease, and my birth name is Grace. So I feel like Lottie was talking to me. Thank you.
Isn't that amazing? Yes, there she is. Coming right there through Baba Siri Chand. This is good. Okay. Gian Das Prem.
Satnam, everyone. Oh, the angels and how we represent them in ourselves. It's the strength and the courage that it takes to be in that moment, and how we deal with it, and the way that our body comes into it. And it's just so powerful to share this, and with the deep sorrow. And empathy and coming into that compassion that allows us to have the strength, to be in that moment of where we are, right? And the loss of someone, but the voice coming through and the strength in that voice is just so telling, right? It's teaching us in a way, I think, in that vibration. It's so powerful. And for me, noticing my two children who are now, in their 30s, and they're at, different parts of their lives, and they're moving along. And let's face it, we don't have a time that we know when our time is to come, but that knowing of that shared relationship that we have and that vibration that comes through and that compassion is so powerful for that moving through, and that shared pain that we have. And I just have to say that it's, you mentioned Japji today, and they mentioned the nurses, right? The twin nurses, or the two nurses, the nurses' maids. And there's a beauty within that that's described as being in that grace, right? Of that compassion, of having that strength held. And when we see that person and we have the memory of that person, it's just so powerful when it comes through, right? It's just, wow, it's testing us in a way. And I think it's work, right? But at the same time, it's the joy of our life too. And we can come through that with the strength and that understanding that this is where it is now. And but the joy between a mother and a child is just so, it's so amazing. And for I'm with my mom now and noticing her age becoming beyond, what my age is, and the understanding of that. But there is an empathy in there too, and that understanding of coming through that in the breath. And yeah, for me, it was the guitar, how the guitar comes through, and it can be shared, and that vibration of how we come into that. And it's like honey, for me, I was hearing music too, and you're an angel. And I think we all sort of have that way, right? Where we can come into that being of, it's hot, like honey, or it's smooth like honey. And that song, she's as you can take all the tea in China and dump it in the middle of the sea, right? Because you're an angel to me, right? You're all of that and more. And I think in that representation of the son to the mother, it's this way of celebration that, wow. And I so respect that. And coming back into that is just so amazing, because the way, the wind is blowing and the music that comes through, it's just, the cowboys ride, right? Let those cowboys ride in the wind, and we'll come through in the memories and the way that we supply that air into this, place where we are in this realm of being that allows us to be with that other person, even though they're not there. And at the end, it was just sort of, there was this vibration coming through, and I wrote it down as a sort of a little poem. Yeah, life's about to start from the beating in your heart. And when you remember me, it's all that you need to see. So sort of that combination of, tasting what's in the air sometimes, and feeling that, in our through our palate and whatnot, it allows those other senses to combine themselves, for us to come in that realm where they are, coming across in these messages and the Waheguru. Yeah, and it's for me the thanks, that appreciation of knowing that we all have a shared pain, and that we have people that we love, and that we're trying to work through the daily life. And then we have these, sometimes these challenges that are put forth and that we have to deal with. So saying that we love each other is important. Yeah, that communication of that vibration of that communication of that love, being in that love and coming to that way. Yeah, thank you so much for that, for sharing that, and for, for myself being able to speak through it, because that shared pain also gives us a little bit of the movement of our, our fluids through our eyes and stuff, which is also a very powerful thing for our heart and for the healing of our heart. And in that Akal, we can, yeah, for myself and my individual experience of using that voice and coming back to that music is, yeah, so beautiful. And thank you so much. And bless us all and bless you. Akal, Akal, Akal.
That's good. That's important. All we know about a call, which means undying. Let's do that now for 3 times with us and begin. That's good. Undying. That means living. Mhm. And also, maybe we will take more time for our session. Is that true for everybody?
Good.
Fine
Yeah.
with me.
Okay,
I'm
Good.
not packed yet, but it's fine by me too.
good. Oh, yeah, because you have to go. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And okay, when do you leave?
1:45 my time, and it's 8:45 my time now.
Oh, okay, good.
All my laundry's done and everything's laid out. I just have to choose, so it's okay.
Perfect. That's great. Okay, now Jot Gian Devi, this is for you.
Okay. Hi. Sahej, I'm so sad for you. I know it's not supposed to be sad, but whoa, that's a lot to take on. So, in my meditation, I got, we are not alone. Laughton is a forerunner, fearless. He is following his path with curiosity. And I feel so humbled to even say anything at this time. But thank you for sharing.
Okay. I understand, but to come a little bit more to let us know what's happening.
Well, I'm very blocked by allowing things to come through that I feel, I guess, as a mother. Oh, I can't imagine for Sahej. It is absolutely so painful to me. So I feel like I have to be careful of what I say because I'm not really sure what I feel except for pain. And I know it's supposed to be wonderful and I know he's in a good place, but I still feel yucky. It's just, and I know it's not supposed to be that way, but I guess I hope she doesn't have to feel it. I'll feel it for her because it's sure coming through. It is painful to me. And I know that he is loved and I know that he's in a good place. But maybe I'm selfish. I don't even know him. I just know of him. So, no, Siri, again, I have to kind of sit with it.
Wonderful.
Believe me, sister, I feel it.
I am sure you do.
Yes.
May I jump in real quick? I'm sorry.
Yes.
I just wanted to say to Sahej that what's coming through from Soul right now is that Lawton had a beautiful voice and that he loved to sing. And he's singing now.
Yes. Yes. Was it you that heard the music?
Yes.
I I was laughing and crying at the same time. I thought, oh my God, does she know how fitting that is? He pretty much
No.
grew up in the radio station with me doing music shows, and he,
Ah,
so perfect. Thank you for coming in to say that.
sure, sure. Bless you.
Isn't that amazing?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the transition from pain, and the other for the incredible knowing and loving for laughter. Is that right? Laughter?
Lawton.
Lawton, but it's spelled like Laughton. In fact, when I sent out birth announcements, I did the calligraphy myself, and I don't know whether the final couple of letters got smudged, but a friend of mine called me and said, "Did you name your son Laughter?" And I said, "No, but that would have been fitting. He used to laugh in his sleep when he was a baby."
Oh my,
I have
how
videos of him
precious.
just laughing in his sleep. So he's always been with the angels.
Oh, how precious.
And his last name is hyphenated with my name, but his dad's last name was De Angelis. So, like, literally of the angels.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
how wonderful. Isn't isn't he helping us all
Yeah.
so wonderful?
He's been helping my family too, and already connections that were rock solid, stubbornly blocked for years with cement are coming loose because of him.
Mhm.
My brother-in-law and his brother, who adored Lottie and who I very much love, had been estranged for years. And I'm not really, I keep myself away from my sisters too because of the way they behaved. I know I've talked about that here, but my sister sent me a text and said, for what little comfort it may provide, we love you. And I texted her back and I said, my comfort would be that your husband would call his brother and comfort him. And they haven't talked in years. They didn't even have his phone number. I gave them the phone number and they're doing it.
Oh my God.
And my young niece, great niece, who's been so struggling, I had sent her a message when I saw her auntie that raised her, my beloved niece. I had sent her a message on Facebook and said, I love you. I just saw your auntie, just want to connect, and just not being attached, just sent it out there. This was like the end of November. And yesterday she answered me.
Mm.
And I was able to tell her how important it was, her contact. So, yeah, me and Lottie are definitely working on especially letting some of the young ones know how important and beautiful it is when they show up, however they show up, to encourage them, that they don't, nobody has the words, and just showing up is very powerful. And I feel like Lottie's helping heal them and guiding me too. There have been many of those things, and that's the one sustaining thing for me. Not the one. That is one of the sustaining things for me. Anyways, thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, Harimandir.
Ah. Um, the in Akal, in Allah, in I am, is what I am um, it's is being reinforced with me, and it's the one I go back to the very first mantra I ever learned through transcendental meditation. I and that immediately connects. My shoulders drop. I am in a different, an open and graceful place. I think it was Yogi Amandeep that was talking about the vibration of awe in so many spiritual words. As you all are talking, I realize that I have a lot of work to do with my connection to my, and when you were talking about Siri, your sister died.
Yes.
Had what?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. When my brother died, didn't have a sense. It was very quick and clean, and but I'd never thought of even. I mean, it was years and years ago. Just sending him ease in wherever he is. So it was a nice concept. It felt and we use a call for after someone has died, and it is undying, but I haven't. I keep wanting to use a call for the living, and it doesn't. It's not what we've been taught, but it seems to me that it can have a place, and it's something.
Yes. Yes. Do you remember Siri Gian taught me this wonderful lesson? Because Sadhu had a friend who was dying and she was so sad about it. And Siri Gian said, let's chant a call for her that was celebrating the part of Sadhu's friend that was undying. But I feel that with us, that I feel that there's going to be a lot of death in the next 6 months and longer. And I feel that there's a lot of death coming this year, and that we're all going to see a lot of death. And I feel like that it's important for us to celebrate the part of ourselves that is eternal and undying in the face of all of this death. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to interject. I couldn't hold it back.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Sadhu.
Okay, Harimandir.
So that's pretty much what I'm finished.
Thank you so much.
Satnam, can I just add something? This is Sat City.
Sure.
I enlarged the picture, and what's stunningly beautiful is the direct gaze between the two, between Baba Siri Chand, and I can't pronounce. How do we pronounce your son's name?
Laughton.
Laughton. When I enlarged it, it's like they're eye to eye and your Laughton is so relaxed, and Baba Siri Chand is so loving and energetically embracing. It's like he's alive, and then that deep, deep, deep connection, and that it's almost like you gave that to him in embryo, between eye to eye, just in total relaxed, loving gaze. It's just really beautiful, and I'm so glad we have this picture. And I just wanted to ask, what was it that caused his death? How did this unfold? Because it seems
Can't do that today.
okay, so blessed. It's so blessed. What a
And yeah,
great soul.
true.
What a great soul. What a beautiful, great soul. There's Lawton is. And it's like he's been freed to be a massive blessing in many, many ways, that his destiny is fulfilled. That's just, I hope I'm not overstepping any bounds. I just feel it so profoundly that it's not a loss of death. It's just, I don't know if we have a word for it. It just is through his death, this massive blossoming, almost global
It's it's yes,
universality.
like his friend Hadi Simran, not I mean different, but in
Yes,
that he
yes.
that they both, like, I remember when Hadi Simran died and people were saying, why? And I mean, I loved him. He was like one of the last things that Lawton wrote to me. And I received this yesterday with the delayed Christmas package. He said he
Mm.
was thanking me for so many things, introducing him to Kundalini Yoga, and for sending him to Sat Dharam's Beyond Addictions course, which is brilliant. Everyone should go. But he said, getting to commune with Hadi Simran as brother has been one of the greatest treasures of my life. And when people remember Siri Gian, you and I talked about this when you were saying, why? Oh my gosh, Hadi Simran he was such a leader. I was looking forward to him being a leader. And I said, and the answer, I'm just getting chills through my whole body. But at the time it was like Hadi Simran said, or you know how this goes. Anyways, this is what I heard was, well, I could stick around for another 50 years, but look what happened in 4 days. In 4 days, 1,000 people stepped up into the next level of their being.
Mm.
And I've I've been receiving condolences from all over the world, and I was so overjoyed the other day when I was counting up the number of languages that people were expressing condolence in. And I could at least say thank you in each language. And there were like 5 different languages and like in 2 indigenous Alaska languages. And I thought, oh my God, Lawton is so overjoyed. One of his most beloved things about human beings was the diversity. And he thanked me. I remember him thanking me, calling me when he was in college and saying, Mama, thank you for raising me around such a diverse group of people. I, it meant a lot to me. And then a few months later, he called me and he said the same thing. And I was like, that's interesting. I mean, I appreciate it. And I know he appreciates it, but this seems to be front of mind for him. I said it to somebody else and they said, well, yeah, that's because he's down in Oregon. It's all white people. I just started laughing. And when he was in graduate school, he connected to all the international students. And at the end of their first semester, he loved to cook for people. So much his Irish blood. Cook for people and tell stories. he invited 28 of the international students to his house and cooked them American Thanksgiving and told them stories about the tradition. And yeah. Anyways, I just
Oh, thank you.
it
Thank
brings
you.
me so much joy to tell these stories.
Oh,
Wonderful. Okay. Now, Ved. Hi, dear.
Hello.
Yes.
I just want to first say thank you, Sahej, so much for all of your sharing, like every part of it. It's just really moving. For me, I I've been trying to do heart breath, but just crying a lot, and letting the tears flow. It's like a combination of feeling the weight of the loss and also this like all extending love. And it's just very intense and beautiful. Um, when I went into the meditation with Baba, I first was seeing like just kind of sparkling light in the roots. And then that light just extended into literally everything, the waters, the air. Like it was just, yeah, like through everything. And then I saw flowers, like flower petals, just kind of um, coming down to earth. And I heard that what I heard is his soul moves mountains. And I heard two songs. One was, I don't know the actual name of the song, but the song that's like, you are so beautiful to me. Can't you see? So just like that line came. And then another song came about the heart. And I was wondering if I could sing that.
Yes, please.
Okay. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Light upon light upon light. All beings shine in the night. Love upon love upon love. All disappear into one. All hearts return to the one.
How beautiful. So, Ved,
Yeah.
you want something else?
Say that again?
Was there anything else? It was lovely.
No, that's it. Thank you so much.
It was wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Japa Saraswati.
Um, um, s- uh, so uh, uh, Elizabeth sent me yesterday a link to your Soul Answer YouTube page, Siri Gian, with you explaining heart breath, which was wonderful. And then I was alerted to, or I was suddenly aware of, that there are probably about 100 old Baba Siri Chand recordings from like 2013, 2014, 2015 in there. and I picked one at random, and you were there, Sat City, and you were there, Jot Gian Devi, and of course I was there by means of time travel because of listening to it in 2024. And in it also, you know who was there was Rahmane, and her husband Tomas had just passed, and she was talking about it, and it was amazing because of the way that she talks about Tomas, that he's still her constant companion, and she has him with her all the time. And this was what I was listening to yesterday, right before. And then Sahej, you sent me that text message. And about 20 minutes before you sent me the text message, the last song that you sent me on YouTube, which was Misty Mountain by Farron, it just started playing on my phone. I didn't initiate it myself. I got in the car and it just started playing, and then I got that message from you. And I felt at the time that your son had sent the song as this musical. I see that he's really incredibly musical. That he's that he's bringing the whole band with him.
He's helping because the lyrics are, is it up above the misty
The
mountain?
Misty Mountain.
Is it underneath the Russian River? Oh, there's more, but those two things, and those are the things that he loved more than anything.
Oh.
In the natural world.
Mm.
Oh, is it up the misty mountain where the wild flowers bind the ground? Is it down by the rushing river where forces wear those boulders down? Where the eagle takes the wind. Oh, it's really beautiful. I'm going to put these lyrics in the chat box for everybody.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you know what? I wonder, can I play this? No, that's too much. That's too much.
Just
Too multi-sensory.
it's perfect. Put it just in the chat. People can listen later.
That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. But I had that. So when I don't know if you guys remember when my friend Patty was dying, and she was coming to out to these groups for like maybe a year or something. And then after she died, Satya said, "Oh, I feel somebody." Like, and she described Patty exactly. And I said, well, you know, the only person that's coming to mind would be dead. So I don't know how she could be, you know, having that big of an influence on my life right now. And Satya said, oh my gosh, they continue to completely have the exact same influence in your life after they have died versus as when they're still alive. And it made me immediately think of Rahmane and Tomas. And then the recency that she said that Tomas had only died like 38 days before or something, that 2014 meeting. And it was just, I don't know, it was just very profound. And that was I guess the message that I feel um, is that Laughton is that your relationship is entirely unchanged, and that he's still very much with you, and yeah, and that you can still be equally as together, you know, the way that Rahmane and Tomas are still together.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is another picture that that Liv Shubid, who's in this picture, just had shared of Laughton. Except
I thought I was looking at my own pictures.
Oops.
Oh, Liv Shub, it's such a well, Beth and Annie, we also call them, so beloved.
Mm-hmm. She's very local here too. She lives a couple blocks away from where I am parked.
Oh my God.
Having dropped her off.
Can you please go find her and give her the most giant, just tell her Lottie style hug, which means you her in and you don't let go for half a minute.
Oh, I'll send that along to her. Yeah, I will.
Oh my God, this is so great, you guys. This is just, it's awake. It's what I needed.
Oh, good. Okay. So, Japa Saraswati,
Yes.
is this okay? I mean, have you finished or
Yes, I am finished.
okay? Thank you.
Thank
And
you.
now this is for Sahej.
Mm.
When I tuned in, the first thing Baba Siri Chand was so clear. Because usually I just tune in and I ask for it. This might seem funny to you, but I don't specifically, I'm aware of what we're doing here, but I don't specifically feel like the person of Baba Siri Chand like manifests as a personality in the transmission of the ideas. But today it did, and he said, "Your mama's heart has a day off." Like, you don't have to say anything. You already.
Mm.
But it was so sweet. It was
Yeah.
like your mama's heart gets a break.
Mm.
And I do feel like, I mean, just please look at those lyrics and hear the music, and all of that is so Latin, and my heart is so filled with love.
Mm.
Chance to the
Mm.
other was remembering is my niece, who I don't really get to see that often, came with her boys, and her son was very, very close to Lottie. He was 9. Yeah, that's okay. This is it. This is what I'm supposed to tell you. I'm supposed to keep telling you these stories. But he told me, he said, like, your heart gets a break. Like, you don't have to work for this because, like, it's there. So this sweet little 9-year-old boy came, and his mama said he's really devastated because he and Lottie are so much alike, so, so wise. And he said to me, he didn't use the word diminished, but it was very close to that. And he said, he was sitting there. My niece and her son both climbed up into my recliner and were sitting in my lap for about an hour. And Lottie came to me, and as I was talking to Milo and talking to his mama, in a very relaxed and matter of fact way about Lawton passing, Lottie said to me, because my heart just rushed out to them, of course. My mother's heart just rushed out to them. And Lottie was there, and he said, "This is how you're going to survive this, Mama. You're going to take care of these people." But it wasn't the word take care of in an obligatory way. You know how this is. It's hard to get language. But it's like your heart's going to flow out to these people, and it's going to flow back to you. And this is how you're going to survive it. And I feel so deeply grateful that we did our work, and we did our work maybe because he was going to go soon, even though I begged God not to let me outlive my children. That was not the way it was going to go. And Lawton and I, he thanked me for turning him on to Kundalini yoga and all the things, and how much joy he got out of it in this lifetime, and how he stepped up and he became a leader in that context. In at the solstice, he was so, even among all those shiny people, he was like Klieg lights, because in that context he didn't have to be anything but his authentic self, which is amazing, like the sun. And he was free to be that. And we meditated together. Even he had a very difficult crisis. Everything in his life kind of came down on his head at once, and he had a huge mental health crisis, the like of which he had never experienced before. And oh, I'm sorry, that caught me for a moment. I've forgotten where I was going. I know there was something in there. Maybe it was too much. Maybe it's too much. It was too much. Yep. I'm being reminded. Your mama's heart needs a rest. Don't tell that part of the story. Not now.
Okay.
Okay.
I was just asking for you from Baba Siri Chand, what about you were talking about the mental crisis?
Yeah.
Because Laughton and a lot of people are going to be having a lot of that. I mean, that's
I remember.
yes.
We were doing a 40-day practice of Kirtan Kriya. And we would call up each day and we would set our timers. We would cue up the music because you know how weird it is to try to play sound through Zoom or FaceTime. So we got it down to the science where we would cue up our mantras exactly at the same time, and then we would set our timers, and then we go 3, 2, 1, hit it, and then we would mute our mics and we would do the meditation. Then we would come back and we would close together. I did not realize how critical things had gotten because I was deliberately keeping it short, showing up, tuning in, doing the mantra, saying a few words, and then getting off the phone. And I did that deliberately because I wanted it to feel sustainable to him to do the 40 days together that way.
Mm-hmm.
And even during the time where he was really destabilized, I had already planned to fly into Oregon and for him to pick me up at the airport. And when I got there, I realized there was really a crisis happening. But he would still sit and meditate with me. And at one point, he kind of took off because he got overwhelmed, and neither he nor his friends, neither I nor his friends knew exactly where he was. But he finally called me and he said, "Call my friend. I'm here. Have him come pick me up." And when his friend went to pick him up, he was calling me and describing what Lawton was doing. I said, "Oh yeah, he's doing meditation for a calm heart." So even in the depths of a complete mental health break, those tools were there and he could access them and he used them. And it helped him get to a more ultimately stabilized state. But in that moment, those things were there. And that's part of why we're all teachers. I felt this incredible urgency about 10 or 15 years ago. I remember being at summer solstice and just grabbing teachers that I knew by the lapels and said, "You have to start teaching people a call. You have to start teaching them what that is. And you have to start chanting a call with your classes. If, any excuse, anybody knew anybody that died, an event happens, people die, you got to start chanting a call with your students so they know that's going to be that's an important tool, because it's not just the tool itself, it's the concept. And in America, there are so many people who have no framework for dealing with death, and that's going to be the worst part of the crisis. Wow. Go Baba Siri Chand. It's coming through now. I feel like fierce about it. You have to start teaching people about Akal. It's real. And also anybody you teach breath work to. And I have always used meditation for a calm heart because it's so simple, and because anybody who puts both of their hands on their hearts and regulates their breath feels it. They don't have to believe anything. They can feel it, and that can be a tool. So it is spoken, so it shall be done.
Yes. Incredible. And thank you all. And thank Laughton. This has been wonderful. More than just wonderful. It's true. It's pure true. And we are all so grateful for all of him, with Baba Siri Chand, to move through to these next times, from dark to light. All of you. So feeling your heart breath, and let's do a call again for 3 times. Please begin. Inhale. Feel your heart breath. Just feel that. And know you are. And this is really going to take, in these times, are going to take a lot of people to go through transition and through mental problems. Or difficulties, we'll say. Because it's really going to change what we thought we were about, and it's changing. Transition. God bless you all.
Thank you so, so much, Siri Gian, for calling me yesterday and for prompting me to do this today, because it's so healing.
I'm so glad, and I'm so grateful that you were being able to be here, to be able to change so beautifully. Okay. Thank you all. So, Sahej, will you lead us through our song?
I will. I just remembered one other thing. I was distracted because Kirtan Swela is playing continuously in my bedroom. And that's one more footnote. Kirtan Swela, Kirtan, Ohila, for people who aren't familiar. Good tool at this time too. Okay. Inhale. Exhale. I always do this twice, so just warning you.
Fine.
I mean, do 2 verses, so inhale to begin. May the
shine upon you.
love surround you. and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the
Time shine
upon you.
all love surround you,
upon
and the pure
light within you.
light your
Guide
your way on. Guide your
your
way on.
Inhale. Bless you all. Love you all, everybody.
Love you all.
Love you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Love to all. Bless you.
Thank you. Love you.
Mm.
Bye, everybody.
Bless you all.